now, I need a miracle. Stranded, reaching out. I call your name, but you're not around. I say your name, but you're not around. I need ya, I need ya, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down. Running out of time. I really thought you were on my side, but now there's nobody by my side. I need ya, I need ya, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, down, down. Don't let me down, don't let me down, down, down. Oh, I think I'm losing my mind now, yeah. Oh, I think I'm losing my mind now, yeah. I need ya, I need ya, I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. I think I'm losing my mind now. It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. So don't let me, don't let me, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Yeah, don't let me down. Yeah, don't let me down. Don't let me down. So don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, down, down.
Hear me, no one sees me, no one. Hear me, no one sees me, no one. I'm off the radar. Hear me, no one sees me, no one. Hear me, no one sees me, no one. I'm off the radar. We make up everything. We tell it as we want. A reasonable substitute for something that never was. Small pieces are captured, stolen the radar.
I'm missing perfect ways to catch. Still moving forward, though my words turning backwards. Like puzzle parts I lost in the sea. The last ones I need to complete. The picture that always repeats. I lost the key. Mirrors cracking. My world is shaking. Thoughts in my head. I try to connect. I fade in while all the candles melt. Ice is burning my skin wound. Like running 100 miles and got lost in the desert. Like puzzle parts I lost in the sea. The last ones I need to complete. The picture that always repeats. I lost the key. Mirrors cracking. My world is shaking. The thoughts in my head, I try to connect. They are fading. Mirrors cracking. My world is shaking. The thoughts in my head, I try to connect. They are fading.
Here. I am Casual Boy, joined here by Mindless. We are here to open up your tournament experience with some amazing matches. You can see just below our beautiful mugs. It is Balaki versus Meow Power. So, Mindless, how are you doing on this fine evening? Are you ready for these heated matches of people running around that roller rink trying to get those goals in those little hoops there?
Honestly, from watching the updates and stuff like that, some few upsets have already kind of happened. So I'm curious what's gonna go on here. It's especially with hearing about these people going for 9 points, so we might see some crazy scores going on. Um, very excited to see how this goes for sure. And with this being my first time going at it, we'll see how it goes.
See how it goes. Everyone's have their first time. Of course, these players obviously looking at what we can see on our screen. Sometimes it's their first go round on all of this. To get into this Premier League, it is very prestigious. You got to show that you're worth it, whether it be your wins, your camaraderie, or every single little thing in between. You earn that slot there. Looking at the table, of course, of our first match coming up, we have got Meow Power, who are at that top, doing very well, playing free, getting free wins, a good 43 goals for to one goal against. So basically, a perfect resistance on that goal difference there. Coming up against their opponents, Balaki, who are in that third place, who have a very similar record going for them, winning three, losing none, but losing out on that goal difference, going for 18 for two. So they're not two teams that are complete polar opposites, but they're two teams that have a different way of presenting themselves in that winning position when they go for their games.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said before, it's like with these goal differences being a factor. Seeing these 9 scores that they've been going up for is such a big goal difference. It's curious to see how this is going to go with them both winning matches respectively, but going for see who goes for the higher goal scorer. If they go for that 9 or they just go for the 5 to end it and win the game, I guess we'll have to figure out and see how it goes for sure.
Yeah, to see how it goes. Let's figure it out. So we are getting ready behind the scenes here. I do believe we're going to Venice Beach. Or no, it's Bangkok. Actually, we are going for our first map. As you can see, our little caster queue here, completely sold out arena on the April the 13th. Players getting all lined up. Of course, here everyone starts at the same point in the map. No one has any advantage until the ball gets dropped. For those of you who don't quite know how this game works, you have to get a few laps round the ring before you can get it into that goal. And the more laps you do as a team, the more points you can score per scoring a goal. If you do kick it off there, as it is going straight on in, we do see the blue team here, which I do believe is Balaki, is getting a good bit of progression. Taking it straight forward, no tackles happening yet, just getting it round and round and round. And they're taking it quite safe and easy, but tackle has happened quite just quickly to make sure that passive play is entered and again pushing that pressure down quite fast.
Yeah, ball's already been swapped fine a couple different times here, a couple different tackles going around. Tess over here going the opposite way, trying to get away from some of these players, try to get that first gate situated. With these players and stuff like that, I'm definitely curious on how, like I said, how they play for sure, and how these defense going to play because both teams here seem to go back and forth already. Grayley now with it going around gate one seemed a little bit free on that one. We'll see how this defense comes up with it afterwards and see if they're able to get stop this first lap.
Yeah, the laps seem to be not going anywhere as both players are getting a bit of a bounce back and forth in this first little dip of the map. It does seem to be in the hands of the orange team here, just making sure they are getting their get pressure going down. Does get a good pass off, and they're playing it quite high, playing it up and above. This seems to be their secret tactic to make sure they're doing as well as possible. Putting it on through down, and it is denied though, as it does get to that halfway mark. As you see, our blue team here is making their way round with the pigeon. Lucy Devil, though, stop it getting away at a very dangerous position. Even the goal hadn't been activated. Once you get past that goal point, you know you've got yourself a gate. You know you've got yourself putting pressure on, and you've got a few laps to go through. Lucy, the ball is denied, goes back into possession of the blue team, but is going back and forth in this dip here again to both teams.
Back and forth indeed. This bull one area I like to call the pit because it seems like everybody in there just goes and falls and gets tackled back and forth. Sometimes the best route, like Grayley just took, is to go away from everything and go fully around for that gate too, just to create some space. And as you see, it's like clearly working out for them right now. As characters getting away from him with a little slingshot there. I don't know exactly how they're gonna go here. If they're gonna go for the one or they're gonna go for more. I suspect them going for more, especially the goal difference thing being a high factor here. I don't see neither team going for a one anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think any team wants to go for those ones because, as you said, the goal difference is so different between them. They've both shown a display of they know how to keep their goal difference in their control, especially from Meow Power, who've just got that near perfect difference at the top of the table. But in the face of their opponents, they know that they have to maybe go for those smaller goals because whilst they've got a good goal difference, it's nothing compared to their opponents, and where the only thing stopping them from having any difference is those small number of points. They're going to keep it going for, but of course, Meow Power has gone ahead and scored that 3-pointer. That's kind of that middle point where you know, okay, I'm safe to got some points. I'm safe to go through things, and it has gone and given them that lead. 3-0 so far to Meow Power with only 4 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, being up 3-0 here, definitely huge for sure. I am curious, like, with this gold thing, if they're gonna go for a 1 and go for a 4, or if they go for another 3 if that chance comes up, as well as to see how Orange here reacts to them and see what they can do. Obviously, they're not gonna go for the 1; they got to go up and try and tie it with a 3, or possibly go for a 5 themselves. But it gets denied after gate 2. Grayley easily coming around for the tackle. Nice little slingshot to get away. He gets taken out by Lucy, and the ball back and forth here at gate 4. Possession going back and forth. Crazy little dive pass. He gets away.
He gets away from it. Balaki having to play in this dip very much, and it does go away onto Meow Power there through Sinez. He does lose it again, so it's bouncing back and forth off this dip, this pit, as you have been calling it, and it does seem to just be middling in this area because that is where both players know they have their most defensive plays possible. It's as far away from the goal that you're not going to be at any points if you can get around those laps. It's as far away from as many of the laps as possible to make sure there is nothing happening on that front. We do see though the Meow Power have broken free from that trap, a break going through. They've got one gate down. They have a couple more to go through. Sinez, a brilliant player. I've seen them many times. My time as a caster for Roller Champions. Gets knocked forward, ball goes flying into the air, but it is picked up by one of their teammates to keep this lap going. As the gate has opened for that 1-pointer, and with the very defensive players coming out from Balaki, they might want to just start scoring its 1-pointers because they've got that 3-0 lead. They can turn it to a 4 or 5 or 6, and they can keep going and steamrolling from there. Do go forward a bit more greedy and do get denied straight away by Balaki on the side there.
Yeah, Blarky's definitely coming in now with these tackles. Make sure they don't get that second gate and end the game off soon here. But with just the possession going back and forth, Blarky's just they're Blues just in control. They can't. It seems they'll be able to get these laps back and forth. And by the time Orange comes up and picks it up, it's too late for sure. And they're playing more so on the back foot than anything right now. They're just backs against the wall. They have to get this 3. They have 2 minutes to do so. They end up getting one full lap, starting on the second one. This could be the one to tie it up here. Going up to Lucy. Lucy seeing what he can do here. Both in this bowl here. We got one person on their goal for Blue. Curious if they're going to go for this 3 or if they do go for the 5. I suspect the 3, and we get the 3-pointer, tying it up 3-3 with a minute and 46 left here. We got a game on our hands now.
We have got an amazing game on our hands, and it's going to come down to these very intricate plays of going back and forth. Of course, now that both teams are tied, they're both those top table teams. They've both got themselves going for it. They know what to do in this position. You can try and push for that tie for that overtime, or you can just get that cheeky goal towards the end that nudges you to maybe a 4-3 lead.
I will say I feel either one of these get the opportunity to score 1, they're definitely going to take it. This next point, in my opinion, definitely decides this match for sure. Considering a minute and a half left, play some time out, maybe go for the overtime just to guarantee the point. But either one can take this at this second for sure. Next possession could be it. For all we know, this could be it right here. We got gate 3 for Sinez. They're going for the gate 4. Nice little dive pass. They get denied. And then Orange comes up and takes it up.
Yeah, it's picked up there on the edge there. A deny in a very good position here. And again, we are in a position now where it's anyone can go for a deny, anyone can go for a goal It just takes that one slip up or that one advantageous position for a team to be victorious in this match. It's only the first game of the series, so you can maybe play it out a little bit longer and try and push for it. As you see, a goal comes out though from Balaki, who go up for a 4-3 lead, and just that narrative continues. That one goal could be the difference. You're at 4-3 against a team that is very, very powerful right now, and you put that pressure on them in that first game. You show to them, I can get a cheeky win off of you. I can get some cheeky victories going for the rest of this series, and that could be the one little change you have to get the entire game set and match put into your favor.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with that 1 point lead now. I feel they're just gonna play defense. They're not even gonna necessarily care about scoring another point here. I see them just kind of playing timeout. If they end up getting the one to get the the extra goal difference, they're definitely gonna go for it, I feel. But with 20 seconds left on the clock here, they're just gonna play time, get away. But as I'm saying, that character takes it up, and now it's back to blue. They have one last shot here for 1 point to tie this up, or possibly three to take it. Going around here. Ball is loose on a bad pass, back and forth. Gradley still has they still have this opportunity. Still have to get the gate one.
Yeah, the play still gotta continue, and it is coming into these overtime moments. We are at the 98-52 mark here, just putting all that pressure in. Orange team wins though, as the ball hits the ground, and they get themselves some good progressive play. Taking his first game in this series, which for Balaki is very, very good because they are technically the underdogs in this matchup. It'll be nice to see if they can continue this flow, if they can get themselves even further in this match. We get that best of series completed and maybe put yourselves at the top of that table with a bit more of a cushion compared to the stronger teams below them. We are being told by the little voices in our heads that we call the producers that the teams have switched and Meow Power have won. So they're the ones containing and maintaining their goal difference. They've lost 3 goals against them, so they're showing they aren't not completely strong. They're not immune to everything, so they aren't going to be dipping that there. So that just means that Balaki, if they do start to win these next few sets, have a bit more of a cushion to them as well, because the top team with basically perfect resistance in their goal difference is gone. It's defeated. It's off. Goliath has been met and it is going to fall down. So losing 3 goals, winning the game. Let's see how that goes in that next few games. And our players are getting ready in the background there. But any key moments in that game that you thought really shone that showed what how both these teams are kind of clashing heads as a top table position for both of them?
Yeah, I was kind of curious heard how that went. I'm kind of with that 1 pointer for sure coming up there at the last few seconds. That playing the defense there, the underdogs definitely came up above the end there to catch up and get their defense going. So
Yeah, it's just going to come down to all of that stuff. And hopefully we can see a good display. I believe we're having a bit of a timeout in the background here. So a couple of technical difficulties, but we should be getting the matches running as quick as possible. Yeah, hopefully, even though we've got some tech difficulties here on our side, we're going to be having some people, our players, taking every prominent step there they have and get themselves going.
yeah, as we're getting things situated here, as we're getting things swapped here and situated, we will be taking a short break just so we can get things figured out here. Get things situated and better for everybody to have more of a visual thing going on and not so much things going on for everyone. So we will be right back.
Welcome back, people, to the RC stream here. Did have some technical difficulties, meaning we had to take a bit of a break, but we aren't going to be too slow into getting to our next few games. Just waiting our players to continue getting ready. Again, I do apologize for these issues we had. There have been some map issues, there have been some issues with broadcast connections, but it does seem we are going to be getting back in action. I believe this time around we should be having Venice, unless the game is playing a bit of a joke on us. April Fools was a couple of weeks ago now, game. Come on, no jokes, no panics. Just want to have a nice, smooth game of Roller Champions to get our evening going as we are in Venice this time. So it is going to be nice and good. No pranks, no tricks, no nothing. And what an amazing little match this is to be taking up. The pitch is amazing. All those lights, the glamour, the glitz. Players want to be in it, surrounded by their fans. Of course, we did have Meow Power taking up that first game with a very, very narrow victory. So we have to see maybe if Balaki can bring it back and have an average of their own. If not, they can still say they took goals off of one of the best teams in the league this season.
Taking goals is definitely something that they should be proud of either way in this situation. Now, taking a match, that'd be a different story. And we can see if they can do that here, as we are going to start off with character having the ball here, getting around here, going the opposite way. Like I said, don't go towards that pit, nice and dangerous area. Nice little pass up sign is way high up on the wall here. Got some space. Gonna self pass here, but he ends up missing it, and the ball gets transferred over. So now that gate does get reset. And like I said the last match, if you don't understand the match, you end up getting we have to get gate 1, 2, 3, and 4 all without losing possession. As you see, they lost possession there again. So gate gets reset, making the team have to start over on all their laps. We're gonna go here and go ahead and reverse up to Tess. Tess with a nice dive pass into the bowl. Lucy here is going with a dump down free.
Yeah, going for that free. Going in for another one is denied on that gate, though, which would have negate that pushed them towards that goal scoring opportunity. As we do have Belanki here pushing themselves forward a bit for more. We do have them go again. The Sinez keep on pushing. Belanki are showing a lot more dominance. They do avoid that one goal shot. That is because the ball is put against the side. Sinez, though, does pick it up and goes through again into Gravity Pitch in here, who just makes sure that lap keeps on going. They now have push it up to that next nudge of the points. Sinez has to come and get it, and they do slowly meander towards it as they do just go static there. I do believe we are having up. Oh, no, players are picking up now, and they are going to go for another shot on that 3-pointer. Does play it on the wall, though. Greater Pitching goes for another lap here. Because we do have some players leaving the chat. I don't know if they're going for a reset or if we are just having some technical difficulties even further. We'll have to keep you updated in the background while we play around. If not, Greatly Pitching just doing some tricks up the walls there to show what they can do to do drop the ball down there. They're just having fun.
Yeah, I do believe that Lucy ended up disconnecting there, so we will be definitely resetting here and making it to where they do lobby so we can help out and make sure this slide doesn't happen once again. And then as we're getting this set up, a new lobby, we'll see how this predictions go. It's already kind of gone back and forth this match, and curious if it's going to go the same way in the next one.
Yeah, I should be curious to see how it goes. I want to say that it's one of those things that you see it appears so much in sports and esports where it's the team at the top, they kind of know they can give away those points. They know like they can take that step back and they can play a bit more cack-handed, a bit more lackluster. So they're just kind of sitting there like we're probably going to get a win or at least be close to getting a win. Whereas a team below them in Balaki, they're probably just thinking to themselves, we don't have this room to lose. We have this room to have this champion story to beat the top of the table. It's not like you're going to go and win the whole FA Cup or the Premier League or whatever it is, but it is still saying that you've taken over these Goliaths that have not dropped us pretty much not a single goal since the first match of the season, and then going ahead and taking goals off of them, going ahead and getting a win off of them would be even more bittersweet for both sides of that bracket. But love to see if that is the case, because I want to say, I'm going to let's put some bids down. I'm saying Balaki, you can join me, you can go against me. I don't care who you going for this match.
It's hard to say. I do want to see the underdog. I'm one of those people that always like a come up story. So Belarkey coming up and getting these points and beating them by 1 point, even where Meowly's over here putting up 9 points in some of their games, having the highest scoring on everybody here. Um, I think I'm gonna join you and go with the underdog story here. Just I feel they can definitely do it and definitely take this match for sure.
I mean, they can do it. Like we've been going over the same rhetoric over and over again. The fact that they took goals off of them in that first game, and it was like oh, they got one goal and they got completely run rings around them. It was 3 goals. I didn't quite catch because of the lag issues if that was a 3 goal perspective, going round a few times, getting those 3 goals, or it's a couple 1 point elapsed. Either way of where it went in, it is still very, very good to have achieved those goals against a top team like Meow Power. And it's gonna be nice to see if they can keep that stamina up. Of course, there was that disconnect, so getting that goal there, we're not going to count that or scratch it off. They might say, "Oh, we got 5 points past one of the best teams in the league." They can scratch it off. They don't need it, but so showing that they had that power anyway going into the disconnect situation where they were going to score a goal most likely anyway, if not get it close to a 5 pointer, it shows that they've got that ability to run rings around these top teams and bring themselves out of the full background, go into that foreground and put that pressure down. So I do believe we are getting ready to get back in. Venice Beach is location again. Players are ready. We are ready. Everyone back home sitting in your seats, you better be ready because we're going to get some great gameplay here. It could be another close tie. Let's just see as the ball drops onto this field. In the blue, we have the amazing Meow Power. In the orange, Balaki. Game 2. Let's go for this. 1-0 so far to Meow Power. Our players are darting around this pitch. 5-minute second countdown. See who gets the ball on that first drop. Because sometimes that is the advantageous position that gives you that lead, as it is going into the hands of Balaki this time round. Give them that very, very good possession. They are passing it straight away. They do close to that goal area, going back and forth through the same gate, putting a bit of a trick there that is picked up straight away by Meow Power, making sure there is no quick and easy goals for Balaki in the first few minutes of this game.
Yeah, and as you see, we did start this match at 6 minutes due to the disconnect from last one, just to kind of get as close time as possible. But even with that, so this match is still going to be full of jam packed of action. I'm pretty sure with Meow Power over here with the dive pass going back and forth, getting the gate 3 now towards the gate 4 with an almost open net. It seems like, but I guess I don't see any teams taking any ones anytime soon. Especially Meow going around, Lucy going around, jumping around off these walls, skids past 2 defenders here and then gets denied with Grayley coming up from behind him. And now Belarkey has ball and taking it towards gate 1. Now, with this gate 1, do they go backwards? Do they keep going forward? They are going to take it back to nice little passes here. And then Grayley taking his time over here, not wanting to rush things. Going to get another pass back, and the pass goes bad. But we do end up getting it back towards Meow Power. Meow Power is going to go ahead and start it on this gate here.
Yeah, Meow Power are going to get started on getting a gate ready. Both teams came close earlier in this game to getting that gate going. And as you said, none of these teams really want to go to that 1 pointer because both of them know that they're both as equally possible of going for those really, really big laps. It's not a comeback, but a 1 pointer bouncing off the wall is the shot there. So, they're probably listening to us. They're probably thinking, you know what, we're going to prove those casters wrong. We're going to get a 1 pointer. But at the same time, it is a big psychological and physical factor in this matchup because by going for those 1 pointers, you put that edge on. You can now say, I can defend for the next few minutes of this game, make sure it's only a 1 point win, or you can say I've got this one pointer, I'm not playing any risks, and you're putting them in and in and in, so you could just stack up those points and get loads of 1 pointers, and once you've put that fatigue into your opponents, you can then start getting those 3 pointers, those 5 pointers, and keep going and going and going until you hit those higher ends of the match. Balaki, though, having a strong possession on that ball, but I did speak a bit too soon there, as Meow Power steal it off of them and get it into a very good position themselves. But they are pinned into a corner as Balaki do get the ball back in their hands and have a bit more strength going on this push here.
It does seem like they're going pretty back and forth here. But Carrot Dynam's getting free and has 2 defenders behind him. They catch up to him. A little bit of Cass's curse, I feel like, is going on here. It seems like anytime we talk about it, something happens. Ball goes everywhere. We are sitting back and forth in this pit area, as I like to call it, going back and forth. These tackles are coming. Like I don't have time to talk on them. It seems like it's happening so much. But we are going to Tess is going to take it around town here. Go try to split up these defenders some and see what he can do to get away from anybody here. As he's going around, he does have somebody up for a pass and then goes for a slingshot, nice and far. Gets past 2 more defenders. They got 1 more here, like we were talking about before, with that 1 point goal here too. That Meow Power does have. Do they go for the 1 and make it a 2 point to where they're now Blarkey is forced to get a 3? And it doesn't seem like they're going for it. They're going to continue on and fighting for this 3 pointer. And if they do get this, it'll be 4-0, which is definitely a really hard situation to come in from Blarkey.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard for Balaki to come in from if they do go down onto those points. The goal is open for a 3-pointer, but it is spared on that shot. It goes in 4-0 to the players here, making sure that they are doing okay. 4-0 lead, better than last game, and they are really putting that pressure down. Where it was 4-3, very, very close last game, this is just a flat-out 4-0 progressive push. And I think it's going to go with Meow Power here. And they showed that they didn't want to take those goals earlier, and they're going to prove how they can keep that stamina and keep their goal difference as low can be.
I do see Meow Power going for that 9-pointer right now. In my mind, I feel they're definitely going to try and get this big, huge goal deficit here, as we've seen on the leaderboard already with them being so high up. But with Belarkey being the team they're going against, they definitely have some competition to hit it or not. We're going back and forth here. Meow Power with this 4-0 pretty much forces Belarkey to have to get a 5, especially with 2.5 minutes left in the game. They don't have time to go for 1s or even 3s at this point. So now, it's just a matter of, can they get 3 laps without losing possession, as they are starting to finish this lap 2, and it does get denied going back over to Meow Power.
Yeah, they're going to have to put that pressure on, and Meow Power are really making them fight for that pressure, and they are going to see if they can pull it through. Going forth with Noptus Fort here, making sure they're going to get those laps in. One gate is taken. They go for another gate there with Lucy Devil, who gets it quite easily. No one had to pass it at this current moment to get the second, third gate going, so they do pass it on through, but they do actually take it themselves. Is passed back up to Nop here, who gets it down on to Dennis here, who doesn't opt to go for that goal, so isn't trying to play with this slower pace game, is going to go for a longer progression. Does go through. Dennis gets another gate, and even more gate as it goes up to Lucy here. Lucy is able to pass it on through, and it is Dennis who gets it. 3 points on the board now to score with. They have an open shot to go. Is stopped, but they actually do keep the ball in their possession. Go for a goal there. An amazing shot. Gets them to that 7 points, and they are not playing now. They are getting for those top tier goals.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for the 9-point. I wanted to see them get the one more. I would like to see it, but at the same time, getting that 7-point difference, especially a 7-0 situation, is definitely huge. With all these points and as high as they can get, it seems Meow Powers came to play, and they definitely shown that off right now with how many they just shut it down. They didn't have anything. It was back and forth. As soon as they got their possession, it seemed to be over.
Yeah, it was completely over from that second. And when they got that 7-point goal in, and they knew they were just running the rings, that might have been the game now playing. Get that 1-pointer in, play a bit of cat and mouse, say, oh, okay, we've got on ourselves that 1 point. You guys can maybe score another. And when they just didn't see that Balaki were having that pressure they had in that first game, they knew they could just go for laps and laps and laps and just get those goals in. Getting a 7-0 victory must be very demoralizing for Balaki, especially when they did so well into this team in that first game. But Meow Power showing why they're on that top. They're showing that they are the ones to try and beat. They are the cat, and every one of their opponents is the mice to them in this tournament now.
Yeah, kind of with Belarkey, like you said, the first match, they seem to put up a good competition. They're going back and forth, getting the match as close as possible there. Kind of somewhat disappointed in not seeing a single goal go up, but like with Meow Power, just as high tier they are being in that number 1 spot and showing why they're up there, they are definitely putting a show on to see why they have all the points they have, beating these teams with 7-0. The last game before that, going for the 4-3, just to like, okay, you guys are competition, but can you really beat us? With them showing us what they can really do in that 7-0 situation.
Yeah, there's not really much they could do to stop a 7-0 situation, and they just allowed it to go through. Meow Power as showing everyone why they want that. Though Balaki, as we both praised them for, have been doing so well. It wasn't like it was a flat out, they picked up the ball, lap, scored the first few, lap, scored the next few. Like Balaki was stopping them from getting it off. It just was so unfortunate that momentum the momentum was stopped at that moment there. And it was really, really pressuring. And I do believe we have some stats to go off of right now as well. Just to show how this team was going and maybe how the rest of the table is going as well, to show that what these teams are facing for beyond those points, those prizes and everything. Show who's that top dog, the very top on the table there. And as we saw, both of them were very, very good at taking those tackles and taking those progressive plays. So it'll be nice to see how these actually work out in the overall scheme of things once they are going to be taking the positions on like tables as well as individuals.
Yeah, once we got definitely curious with these stats as we get these situated. We are gonna get everything going here. We're gonna have to break for a minute while we get everything figured out here and get us ready for the next one as well. So
Welcome back, everybody, to the week one of the RC Premier League. I'm still Casher Boy. This lovely person beside me is still Mindless, and we are getting ready to do our final, match of this week, which is the Classic versus the Blitzers. We have to unfortunately tell everyone that Tizer Crew had to forfeit their game, which was going to be our middle match, so they will be taking a 2-0 loss instead of playing it out. And of course, it means he has less time with us on the microphone today. But of course, we'll have to see how that shakes up the table for the teams here. As you see that Tizer Crew are in that bottom area. Blitzers as well, also down in that bottom. So we're going to have that Classic just tickling the edge of that top four placement, during that green zone to go into that playoffs position. And we'll see how that plays out. You got bottom of the table trying to drag themselves out of the dredges against fifth in a table, trying to push himself to the tippity top.
Yeah, as you see with these goal counts here, Blitzers does have negative 16. This is due to their previous matches as well as Tizer Crew, also with the negative 27 having to take that forfeit. I believe that's what Blitzers had to do in the last games that they've had as well. So they're going to be having to fight out of this trench here to even make a dent into trying to get out of that red zone. And as we're doing that, though, Classic is fighting for that fourth spot to get into the top four. So we'll see how this goes with Blitzers versus number 10 versus 5. So we'll see how this goes for sure.
Yeah,
And
see.
yeah,
Yeah, to see, because for both teams, a singular win is what it takes to push them up. Because as we can see in terms of the table anyway, they're both on play 2. So we can knock up to that play 3. If Classic get a win, they will then be on 2 wins, which then given goal difference, I guess goal difference will come into it. With those 2 wins, they could push themselves above the Mama Boys. Blitzers have a bit more going for them, because if they win, they'll be getting that 1 win. They'll be getting more points than they need. That'll push them out of that red zone completely and push TKM down, as well as Bullhawks and Tizer Crew down on that table. And depending on how goal difference goes, possibly even 6th place in the table could be knocked down even further. So we'll have to see how that goes. That's what I love about league-based sports, because it has that one change to completely modify an entire bracket going to the later stages. We're in hidden C note here now, so we're going from a very, very pumped up rural vibe to a nice little area in the jungle. All our teams ready to go. Got their skates on. Got to get ready to get that hate on for their opponents. 7 minutes on the clock. No changes here to mitigate anything. Countdown goes through. Players are ready. Going for a very, very separate position to kind of cover every base to get the ball going. To do see Swezzy there has got the ball in their hands. Off to King, who gets it back up to Swezzy. Over on to Sleevey here. So it's getting very, very, very good possessive play. Opening in the game. There doesn't seem any tackles yet, as the gate's just getting closer and closer.
Bliss starting out strong already within 20 seconds of the match here, getting lap 1 done and completed. Now, we mentioned this with both teams kind of needing just 1 win to either get out of the red zone for Blitzers or even for Classic to get into that top 4 spot. So both teams have a lot going on the line here with Blitzers here going around for that gate 4, going for the lap 2. And as we're doing this back and forth everywhere, I don't know what's going on at this point. Are they going to go for the 5? Seems so, but it's a little wonky with the pass back, and he ends up getting it still in Blitzer's control, starting to continue around. And they do get ball taken out of their hands. Beast coming in and going ahead in reverse here and swapping it over to Classic.
Yeah, so I did just check our graphic down. I do believe it is Classic in the orange who had that very good advantageous lead. So it was lovely to to see Blitzers run rings around the field. It was Classic who are pulling off all those tricks and showing that they can probably take it a bit more smooth. Again, if we look at this from the same sort of way we looked at that first match, where it's the higher up team has less to lose from this, they can take it a bit silly. They can be a bit more skill based than they are knowledge based in this matchup, and just kind of go for goals as and when they want to. And they can maybe even go for those complete laps, get that complete win, just call it a day. And it looks like they are just trying to go for that. Of course, if they do mess it up, there is a playoff position on the line. They have this knockdown, but it's early in the season. You can call that back, but even though it is that embarrassment of losing to the bottom of the table team. King, though, is bringing it through, denied on that gate there. So very, very passive play coming out from the Blitzers, which could be why they're struggling to get those wins and get those goals in, because they're just playing too damn passive in their matchups.
Yeah, definitely playing a bit passive, and as I see too, not a lot of them on the goal. So there's definitely all of them on the attack here seem to go up being going after the ball quite a bit, with leaving these ones seem to be wide open almost. And with classic, having main ball control, like Blitzers is taking them out, but they're not able to succeed on any laps. They've only had like one really good attempt. As I'm saying that, ball goes wonky, gets a pass all the place, but Blitzers does still pick it up, getting that gate two, heading towards that gate three now. Now with the gate three completed, Beast is going around town here with nice little self pass. Gonna pass it up top with the gate one open. Do they take the one though? I don't believe they do. They want to go for this three, but can they get through? The pit is like I like to call it, and they do. Gilbert going back up top here, going around for gate three. And as I'm talking, and it gets
Oh,
denied.
dear, denied at that finishing blow. If Blitzer got that, that would have been very, very discouraging for their opponents in the classics there. Because you can see that would have been a classic coming out from the Blitz, getting that victory grips in their hands, especially with 3 minutes to go. If you can get a good number of points that early, you can play very, very passively. And I think if they just flip the switch a bit, maybe in the next game, where instead of playing passive and then all of a sudden going very, very strong, very offensive, they go very offensive off that get go and play passive at the end, which is what we're seeing from their opponents in classics. But I think they're getting a little bit shaky now because they're not finding ways to get the ball too far apart and they're dancing around the goal mouth, trying to make sure they're getting that perfect slot. But Swezzy just takes a few gates out by themselves as they are taken over. But then King gets the ball back. Unfortunately, it wasn't in a position when they could have scored, but at least they got that ball back. King go for another gate, trying to complete that lap, putting it on through to Sleevey here. Sleevey gets through one, passes up through. Oh, it goes over. Doesn't go for that pass. Goes through. King gets a ball in their hands. Very, very close to a denial there, but they are able to keep it going. Find that right spot. They have got that 1 point that they do take it on to a free lap with Swezzy there. Taking it on through, getting through that other gate. Has a bit of competition to go for. It does go through up to King, who does grab hold of it. They have got opportunity to go for free, and it hits the sideboard. Bounces back off. It still hasn't gone into opposition hands. Swezzy there has to pick it up, plays it on through. I think that might have been an accidental pass, but it is picked up straight away by Sleevey, who are going to take that accident into a victory as they do take it through to another gate. We do see it. It's onto Swezzy. Swezzy gets it through onto that +5 point. They pass it on through to King, who goes for a shot but just misses the angle and has to keep hold of it in a rough position as it's denied on the pass into the shot there. And it does go back into the hands of Blitzers on a very, very strong position for their opponents in the classics.
It is definitely a little bit demoralizing for Classic there. I know they're definitely in their heads after a situation like that. The 5 pointer was there for them and they denied and missed the goal opportunity here. But as we're talking, we do have Classic coming around for this gate one, gate three, two, all the gates getting taken. Gate one, lap one, all of it's going around here. And I just want to see a point scored. We got a minute and a half almost left here, and no points have been scored. You've seen these gates open time after time. This is when you start to think like, could that 1 pointer 5 minutes ago been the 1 pointer to win the match? And with this house match is going back and forth, I feel 1 pointer is definitely going to be the deciding factor here. It's whoever can get that 1 point and not care about the threes or the fives and all these extra laps.
It is going to come down to the thing, and I've seen a fair few RC games in my time, and the ones that go to that very fine wire are the ones as a player you love to see, but us here on the casting desk, you're going to learn what it is to have a raspy sore throat after players are playing it to the very end. Of course, of how it's been, it does feel from in terms of the stats anyway we can see that is going to be the Classics taking it with a very, very good win. 60 seconds remaining. They've seen that warning on their screen. They know what they want to go for. They are taking that push with Swezzy there, trying to get some laps going through, passes it on in. Swezzy actually goes for a false pass, gets it onto themselves, throws it away, but no one's there to pick it up. But King is there. King gets a bit greedy. Is it going to bother trying to push that overtime away by getting just one single goal? But it's going to try and get it null and void, nipped it in the bud. Everything done in one from that first shot of the game. Sleevey here gets onto that 3-pointer. Are they going for it? No, they is not. They are going to go for that 5-pointer, try and completely ruin the facade of any victory coming from the Blitzers here. It does go through. That next goal is open. 5 points is the one to go for. They are teasing it. They go for a shot, and it's in. There's no way you can come back from that. There's no way whatsoever for the Blitzers to come back from that, and they are teasing that goal out of them. 5 points at the end of the counter. Can you score 5 goals in 15 seconds? If you get a really good lap, you can maybe do it. But I think the Classics know what they have to do to stop any chances of that. As we do see, though, it does go through to a timeout, it's going to be a game to the Classic.
Yeah, with that 5 pointer, as I'm sitting there talking about, oh, 1 pointer can decide the factor, and 1 pointer will be the deciding factor at this time. They definitely just proved me wrong in that situation. They wanted to say, we don't want to play this last 15 seconds. Let's just score this 5 and max our points out and get it done and over with. And that adding to their score as well as making them up 1-0. And with them being, they were number 5, right? So if they end up taking this, they do have potential of coming in that top 4 spot.
Potential of nudging themselves to that top 4 spot. Of course, that is by virtue of they have played more games, but with a strong win like that, the goal difference would be good enough cushion. So if they can have a 2-0 victory, they can have a good goal difference in their victory. They know there's nothing going past them. Blitz, however, again, have that case. If they lost that first game, and it wasn't, I guess it was a complete demoralizing loss at that end there. It was completely a case of, okay, we let them get that through, we let them completely destroy us. But at the start of the game, when they were playing very, very passively, they knew what they were doing, and they knew they could push further above and beyond to make sure they're getting everything ready to go for them.
Yeah, they definitely know exactly what they're doing in this situation. I am kind of curious on how blitzers are gonna respond to what just happened to them. They had the 5, and then got taken away in this situation, and Classic responded with their own. So I am kind of curious on how they're gonna respond, and if they're able to even take a match off of them, or is Classic gonna ride this 5-0 and just go crazy with it?
Yeah, they might go a bit crazy, might go crazy, might go stupid, might go silly, might just treat themselves to a little snacky at the end of it. Let us see what they go for. Hidden C note is the option to go for again. They are going to play it out as we are coming into this match. As we said, they can just run away with that 5-0 victory. They put that pressure in, they've bared their fangs, they've bared their claws, and they're just gonna push themselves above and beyond. And let's just see if that is what they go for. Of course, let's have to win this game to keep themselves in the run from getting out of that bottom position and being relegated from the RC Premier League. They had a very passive play, and as we both said, if they flick that switch and they go strong into passive instead of passive into strong, I think they can take this game. Even if it is a 1-0 victory, that's still enough to take it to a game 3. If they do actually get the lead in terms of possession in this opening ball, and they're dancing around but tackles straight away, and King do what King does best, and it's going to kick off a ring run for the Classics.
Ball, like you said, is going back and forth already. But with Classic having his first possession being so early, I can see them being a bit more passive. He's splitting up these defenders very nicely. Nice dodges back and forth. Wall transfers, and he does get taken out by Beast, who I feel has been really good at the defense for this Splitters team. One of their higher guy tackling for sure. And as I'm talking back and forth again in this little pit area, and Blizzard's just they got to get something going. They are on the verge of not competing anymore in this whole league if they don't end up taking this victory. So Classic is just really going for that top 4 spot. They're still going on. They're still move forward. But with Blitzers, their backs against the wall. They have a lot to lose in this situation. So
Yeah, they have a lot to work for, and like they have a lot to bounce back from, or bounce back into in terms of a win or a loss. And as you said, they know that they're going to be completely gone from the league if they do not win. Well, not if they don't win this game, but if they don't keep winning games, they'll be gone. This could be the make and break to say, "Hey, I've got myself a good position to go forward with." We don't have Swezzy though; is just taking the ball forward, is getting some good laps in. They've just got to unlock that 1 pointer, and even though the Blitzers can have a 1 pointer to steal a win, all we have to see is a passive play after a 1 pointer from their opponents in the Classics, then steal a win in that position, get that 2-0 victory, call it a day, call it a swift and easy defeat. 3-0 off that bat, though, with a very, very long shot into that goal. No defense pressure whatsoever. Classics leading this game too.
I feel Blitzers just a little bit of miscommunication there. Nobody was on the net, and for a 3-pointer to be completely open like that is very, very rare. Gotta be a bit more aware of the situation and what's going on. But that little miscommunication going on, we have 5 minutes to go, and Classic is up 3-0 in this situation. Potentially only 1 point, one score away with another 3-pointer to take it and knock them out completely, being Blitzers being gone. But as I'm saying, this beast is getting nicer and around here. I do say they're going to have to go for more than 1 point. So they're going to end up having to go for more. Swezzy go Classic taking this back. Nice little pass up top as he does have one defender here. Gets past him. Nice little dive pass over to Stealthy. Back on Bull 1. takes the spine nice and free. Got one defender up, another pass. These passes are going all over the place right now, nice and high on the walls and free. All three of the defenders for Blitzers is now on them again. Again, looks like a free net. I can see them taking the one. He goes for a bank shot, and he ends up taking a bank shot. He ends up taking the bank shot, and a little bit of style to say, yeah, we can do this.
The bank shot, style shot, going for it. And I think at this point, when you basically know you've got the victory, you know what you can do in these situations. Just go and score those cheeky shots, go and score those skills, those tactics. Just throw havoc and caution into the wind, just like that ball was thrown into that goal there. And it gets you a lead, 4-0 lead right now. All you have to do is get that free, and you have just got won yourself the set. And there's nothing that your opponents can do in the blitz about that. Swezi does get the ball going on through, passes through another gate, is passed on through. No one really gets that, but King is luckily gets that just before it's picked up by the blitzers, as it is Sleevey who is on the ball here. It's going to get it through. It's for another goal on that +1, but it is denied. It dropped the ball in a rough situation. It does picked up again by Swezi, who is going to take it on through another gate. And it just seems like the same remedy over and over again for the poor blitzers. They play too passively around that goal area, that once they lose it, they're stuck at that goal, and they are there for the other lap. They just, you have their opponents know they can just run around them and then go over them instead of having to go into them. Sleevey does lose the ball quite close to that corner area in that pit, but it is picked up straight again. A very, very good recollection of the ball. Swezi passes on through to King, who is just on the lip of that gate, who gets on through again, is going for more and more. Swezi picks up again. They can see that +3 is in their grasp. And it is King who is the one who would take it on to the 3-pointer gate. But it's finding a bit of a struggle to find a slot to go through. Sleevey goes over the goal and maybe miscalculates things a very, very big amount, or is getting a bit greedy. Goes through 2 more gates. It's absolutely clean to go for another one. Could get that 5-pointer active, waiting for a player to pass it to. It's up to Sleevey, who has King to one side of them. Is really close to that goal. Goes, but it's denied right on the face of the goal there. And it is going to go back to the blitzers, who can try and play a bit more controlling and maybe get a 4-pointer of their own. Well, a 5-pointer is what they need to win this match.
Blitzers definitely have to do something. The fact that they're able to get these extra laps only needing one, Classic is really showing them who's the better team in the situation. With that bank shot and the bounce shot, they're showing off what they can do. And I just don't see Blitz doing anything to counter or fix this situation. But who knows? Maybe this offensive could be the turning point for this team. And with 2 minutes left, they have to definitely pick something up here. But with Classic, they just ball control. Like, they're losing for a second and they're getting it back so quickly to where Blitz is not able to get even a half of a lap. King over here being ball carrier gets taken out. Blitz ends up getting it. Gilbert now has it. Pass goes out. Riz has it. They lose the ball. And back to Classic with Swezi. Tackles happening back and forth, left and right, forward, backwards. As we talking, King is now getting finally some ground on it. Loose ball with the pass. And ball still loose. Who's going to end up getting? And Beast ends up getting it here from Blitz. With this 4-0 lead here, they definitely have to do something, either play passively to guarantee that 3-lap and hopefully get one or something. But I can see both teams going 4 or 5. Classic has tried to do it already. Will they go for another one and try hit 9 points? They were close to it last attempt. So, or do they go for the one? If they leave it open, I see them going for the one and just taking the game. As I'm talking here, one is open. He goes for a little pass, and nope, they're going for more.
They're going for more. They're going for gold. They're going to try and lap it up as quick as possible. They're denied. So they're getting a bit too greedy here. And that is really not paying them any dividends whatsoever. As it just fall out into denial. Back down up to Swizzy. Into King, who does get a drop. And Sleevey picks it up. Passes it on through. They just went to the play back and forth through that first gate there. Is this pass through? King in that perfect position again. At the lip of the gate. It does go through off onto the side there, is picked up by Sleevey, is dropped and denied though. It goes over to the blitzers, who have got a bit of a clean run. 35 seconds left, and it isn't really the best amount of time you want, but I've seen players get full laps and get a comeback victory with only 10 seconds left to go. But I don't think this is in the books for blitzers. They are just being cornered, but they are able to get through that first gate, so I'm pushing that narrative a bit better now. But it is stopped in their tracks. The ball's dropped. King picks it up, and King knows that they can play passively for their team team to make sure the Classic get a victory with a 4-0. Passing it on through. The ball is dropped, goes over to Swezzy though. Swezzy just has to keep a hold of this ball, keep it going. That last little second, they go for a last second shot. As
Oh,
we have Classic winning there. Would be great to win on the bell, but of course, that 4-0 is all you need. Blitzers still at the bottom of that table. And we do see Classics, for the time being, are being nudged up into that upper bracket of the tournament in that playoff green zone. Let's see if they can keep hold of that for a little bit longer to give themselves a better chance of that championship prize towards the end of the season.
Classic definitely showed why they do deserve to be in that green spot. So I'm kind of, I I respect them going for a little bit extra, but I do kind of wish I seen at least that 3 they had was open. The 1 was open multiple times. Just take it. You guys were already moving up. Why make us sit here and talk an extra 4 minutes? You had the game a bit ago. You know, but I respect it. Nice gameplay overall from Classic. With Blitz, they just weren't able to adapt. That goal was open every time. All 3 attackers and defenders were just always on ball. So, Classic seen that opportunity to take it, and they did, especially with that bank shot. The bank shot was free. You see nobody in front of them. So we'll see as next week now, I believe, right, is when we will see these teams again in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. I'm
In
curious
two
how
weeks
these
time.
people will go. So
Yeah, trickle them way through. But that's only early days. They'll be able to fix it up as quick as possible. As we said earlier, how you're kind of in that situation where a top of the table team can play it a bit safer because they know they're not going to drop too far. As well, a bottom table team knows they have to put every foot, every centimeter, inch, mile, yard, whatever system you're using, into that winning position. See if they can take it further, see if they can do it. But it'll come down to a lot of different factors because right now it's only that week 1, as we said.
week 1 was definitely a strong week. I feel there was definitely some upsets this week already, as you can tell from all these points being scored. Some people scoring more than 40 points in their series, and they've only played a handful of matches. Like, that's a lot of points to be scoring. Here in these 9-0s and 7-0s, and you see these 8-0, it's a lot of points being happening. And the fact that these teams are able to do this, I feel those top 4 are there for a reason, and they definitely are showing that with their points being scored and their point deficit.
They're showing the difference between points and prizes and everything in between, that they know why they want to be there and they know what they deserve to be there even. And there's ones at the bottom maybe think they don't deserve to be at that bottom, but they've really got to work for it. They've really got to push themselves above and beyond to make sure they're getting everything out of these last few ounces. I want to see some of those bottom teams like Blitzers. They knew what they were doing. They had the tools, they had the rhymes, they had the remedy to break through into those upper brackets of the tournament. And given how the points are currently standing, they could quite easily just nudge themselves up with a single win to mid-table or even tickling into that playoff zone. And as well for any of the teams in that bottom. So it'd be nice to see if they progress their way out of that and give these top teams a run for their money. Because if we have that passive sort of, hockey play coming out from these top teams, they think like, oh, I'm going to win this because of the difference between us. They're probably still going to be able to push forward and get something out of it just because of how powerful those bottom teams can be if you disrespect them that little bit too much.
Oh yeah, especially if you, like you said, if you disrespect them a bit or don't give them enough credit, because sometimes your players might have a bad day. Could be the worst player of the whole game or whole series, and you never even know it, right? So these number 1 teams, these top few teams, definitely should still look out for those teams that are below them, even if they are completely annihilating everybody else. All it takes is one possession to score 5, one possession to change the entire game for a situation. So with these teams, how they're matched up, it's going back and forth, but there's always that one team to seem to kind of take the edge and push 1 or 2 of the games and just run away with it. So these teams that are below, try to keep it a bit more close. Definitely pick up on what you guys were working on today and change what you got to change. I suspect this to be very close matches from here on out. So
Yeah, I suspect once the teams start to gel together a bit more and start to understand that what they can do as teammates and what their opponents are doing, I think they're gonna worm their way in to those better situations and play a lot better than they have been in this first week. Because every match that we had so far, it wasn't a complete washover, it wasn't a complete pushover by any means. And it was a case of just maybe one team had a bit more going for them than the other. We saw in that first match when it was the battle of the top teams, battle of the Goliaths, that the team, the Baloks that was slightly lower, were able to just push themselves through, and they only really just lost, especially with that 4-3 loss they had in that first game. The match we just had so far with the blitzes versus the classics, either the classics took a complete goalless win both times, they were still able to show, like from the blitzes perspective, that there is that play there. And I think all blitzes really need to do is just flick that switch a bit sooner. And even if it's just getting like 1-2 goal wins, I think that'll be the change they have, because they're always seeing these whipping boys at the tournament. They're going to drop those points early. They're not going to score anything. They'll play too passively. But when they start to pick the ball up a bit more, and there's so many times they are so close to scoring a goal because they let that trap get set where the passiveness was there, and then they finally flip that switch. Just do that a little bit sooner, guys, and I think you'll be winning games, even if they are just those 1-2-0 wins.
not even just that with blitzers, there's a few different times where they pass up on a one goal, and this was before anything was scored. With it being that one point, that 1 point could have been a whole nother game changer. So, just because you can get some extra points and go for these goal points and stuff like that, and you want these higher scoring games, sometimes you just need the win more than the goals. As you see, like our top teams, they won 4, they've lost nothing, right? All these people, the goals only come down if it comes to a tie. So if you're good enough to where, oh, we're not tying anybody, just score ones all day and you'll be fine. So I want to see more 1-pointers. I feel people are forcing these goals that aren't needed. And with that, I feel the league itself will be even more entertaining because you see more back and forth in the situations. So
Yeah, and like seeing back and forth is really, really good. We saw them kind of poking their heads out, rearing themselves ready to go with those back and forths from a lot of our teams here when it was kind of in that pit and in the dip area where it was, always a constant tussle for the ball. But I think it was just, a lot of these teams, once a couple gates were going, they just kind of they gave up really, and they were saying, okay, you've gone and done your thing, and you've not really, got room for me to fix myself and maneuver. But over time, they slowly worked themselves towards it and were able to get themselves to be advantageous and victorious. And as we said earlier about how one win can change it all, we can see on this table, Classics are now in the top 4. It's only week 1, but they've put themselves into that top 4. And Blitzers have pulled themselves off of the bottom of the table, second from bottom, but still a little bit closer to those Bull Hogs who will drop down if they do manage to lose. And either of these bottom 3 teams to get a single win to their name in the season so far.
you see a lot of zeros on here and a lot of 1 and 2s for these teams. So definitely, like I was talking about with these points, nice and good to have. But winning a game can mean you're out of death zone. Winning one match can change the entire difference, and this whole bracket could be a separate bracket next, end of next week's stuff. Well, 2 weeks from now. So people just gotta start going for wins. And just because you can get them, just why? Just win everything. You'll be fine. As you see with Meow Power, yeah, they score a lot, but at the same time, every these other teams they're playing against, they're beating them. There's not just the goal deficit just because they're showing why they are number 1, even with when they're going against Blocky. They put up their chances for it. And Blocky, I really felt like they were able to at least they gave them a run for their money. They didn't get destroyed, but at the same time, I do got some faith in them coming in these next weeks and so of these matches. So we'll definitely see how this goes and how it continues. Got a good couple months of this, so
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to see it all through. It's gonna be nice to see who can change it up in those tiding moments. Because when we get to that playoffs, that is it. That is done. That is when we are looking at your top 4 teams going head to head for that final placement, and then after that, that champion placement. And it's gonna be nice to see if we can have one of those bottom teams just all of a sudden just there in the top, winning, just being immaculate. But yeah, that is going to come down to whatever they go through for the next few seasons. And of course, talking about things for playoffs and getting those championship places and everything to you, we've got some invitationals coming up in the next few months and weeks and everything really just soon. They're coming up soon. Where we can have some teams invited in to see who is the best of the best from the choosing of our production over here to say, you know what, you performed well. Here's a chance to say you performed as well can be. And that's going to be really, really fun to watch, to catch it. I'll sure be tuned in to see who the best RC team is this side of the year.
Yeah, with all this going on, I'm definitely excited for it, and I will be here either watching it or with you guys here seeing my amazing looking face and my voice. So
But yeah, I've had fun having you by here. Seeing your beautiful voice, hearing your beautiful voice on the camera next to. I'm getting all the words mixed up now.
see,
You guys,
I'm so good. I get everybody flustered. It's okay. It's okay. That's understand.
everyone gets what I mean. You get what I mean. It's been great being alongside you for my return to the RC commentary scene. And it's been what a nice way to open it up with some really, really good games so far, and it's going to be great to see how we can progress things going forward in this league, as well as just the entire RC format throughout the rest of every tournament we have. It's been great joining you. I've had fun. Like I'm running out of things to say here. So do you want to quickly jump onto this dying bandwagon so we
Just
can,
want to
keep
say,
this rolling?
as my first time casting, I enjoyed it. I hope everybody else enjoyed it, even with my little bit of mess ups. It's okay. I'm having some fun. I will say I'll definitely be back and even better. I'm glad to be casted again next to that you over here, and who knows? This could be the power
Exactly.
duo.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
reverse.
this could be the power duo from now on.
I can't. What?
So
Yeah, yeah.
wait, there we go. So with all that, guys, we will see you in the next one for sure.
of a TV queen.